I want to make sure I can be heard. Testing 1, 2. Testing.
Testing one.
It is a pleasure to be before you, bringing another interesting topic. I like to show this particular shirt, if you can see it. The Hidden Tears of a Black Male. It is a pleasure to be before you. My name is Anthony Milton. Welcome to another interesting topic that I want to point out to you. I decided to do this particular movie review because when I go to a movie, I'll go to a movie for understanding, learn something from what I'm watching, because I want to know what's going on. For that reason, I will just go and listen and try to get a point of what the movie is trying to tell me and share with me. So I want you to look at this particular, listen to what I'm going to say and get something from it, because we all can learn something from the things that we see. When I watched this particular movie, being a police officer, I did not look at the other side other than arresting people or doing my job. And over the years, that's what I did. Worked in maximum security prison, a jail, undercover work. So I saw all three sides, maybe four, of the law. But when I watched this particular movie, I was captivated by what I had watched. I'm not justifying anything is right. It's permissible. It's permissible to break the law. But I understand why the people do the things they do. There's a solution, there's an answer, which I will reveal, to how anyone can come out of the crime-infested, drug, criminal lifestyle. There's a way. There's a way. You may not think it, but there's a way. When the way is not revealed to us, then what happens? We continue down the path of family members being incarcerated, family members going to jail, family members dying. And we have heard this saying that Black Lives Matters. And yes, it does matter. And all lives matter. But who are we to pick who lives matter over another life? We can't play God. We can't. But yet, when we think of Black Lives Matter to all of us, it should reflect in our behavior. Any given Sunday, Saturday, any given day of the week, people are killed, blacks are killed by blacks. Houses are broken into, robbery, rape, whatever you can think of, the life of crime, black on black crime. It should not be quick to point out that whites commit crimes too, but it should not be a division type thing that we are better, we deserve special rights to do whatever we want to do, and that's not true. When some of us speak up against the violence among our own race, we are called an Oreo lover or hate of our own people or whatever word that may be used that particular day. But no, we must realize and recognize that there's truth to all. There's answers. There's truth to all problems we're going through. So as I watched this particular movie, I said, wow, I didn't even realize. I didn't understand. I don't recall ever being taught this in the academy. But the movie taught me, and I recommend all police officers should watch it, not with the mindset of us against them, but a mindset of understanding why people do the things they do. Keeping in mind, we're not advocating violence or advocating hatred, but an understanding as to why. And when you understand the reason why, then you can come up with solutions. So I picked this topic, this movie, to illustrate a point that we can learn. So I say, you know what? Forgive me for my lack of knowledge. Forgive me for not considering the other side. Forgive me for not understanding why this is what they do, and this is why they do what they do. Not justifying why they're doing what they're doing, but understand it and be in a position to help those who want to be helped. I can't help anybody who do not want to help. So I mentioned on part one, and I broke down a scenario about a white individual growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood. His family he or she may be taught, educate, the fear of the black race. They may have been beaten up or bullied, or just never associate themselves with black because they went to a private school, and and they read in the newspaper or listened to the news program, and they heard about black on black violence and how when someone get killed, they raid the community, they break in stores, they do all kind of things, and they don't understand that. Some go to college, graduate from school, never associate, hang out with other races of people, so they're this is being bred in them, they're being learned, these are seeds being planted within them. So they grew up, and some decide to go to continue their education, some go in the military, and some say, I want to be a police officer. And then they go out to be a police officer. They ride along with somebody who teach them, pass the evaluation, and give them a good grade, and they're out there on their own. But test, the real test if they want to become a police officer is when they're out there on their own and they meet someone of a different race. How do they respond? Do they yell? Do they scream? Do they demand? Do they think they automatically get respect because they want a badge and a gun? And I've been around officers that do behave that way, and I've been around officers who are black that behave that way. So when you're not out there to know, because it's not shared, that there are blacks that don't like blacks, there are white that don't like white, a variety. Should they be police officers? No, but sometimes they get weeded out when something bad happens to them. Sad to say, that ought not to happen. They should step up to the plate and recognize that, you know what, I am not able to do this job. I cannot function anymore as a police officer. I recognize that, I just can't do it and get out of, that type of work. And then they meet someone who's bigger than them and they pull out their gun, hoping the person will stop. And some people don't fear dying, and then they turn around and the person gets shot after a scuffle, and they go to trial, and sometimes the officer is convicted, and sometimes they let off, and then rioting hit the street. So that's my scenario synopsis. So because of lack of communication, a lack of understanding, a lack of not doing the right thing, and because of fear, an automatic response. So I say that to say this. I was surfing last week, and I came across an article that goes along with what I'm going to share. It can go along with me saying, well, the message that I choose to do this movie review, what I just share with you, fall in line with this particular story. I read it's on the internet, and this is the article, the subject matter. White security guards pulled a gun on a black police officer in uniform. And the officer said, I saw his eyes. The officer thought they were on the same side. You don't get ambushed by someone that you think on the same team. Some racial overtones were heard. The security guard asked the police officer he must leave his gun in the car. I guess the officer was there to investigate a crime or investigate something. Security guard said, you need to leave your gun in the car. And officer said, I can't do that. I won't do that. So the security guard accused the officer of reaching for his weapon, but the officer, I did not reach for my weapon. So the shouting match took place. The security guard pulled out his weapon on the police officer. And I said, this can't be real. This got to be made up. A police officer a security guard pull out his gun, white security officer, pull out his gun on a black officer, which the black officer thought that they was on their own side. They was on their own side, own team. And that falls into play what I said. Some individual grow up not knowing how to handle situations. Can you imagine being a security guard? Can you imagine being an officer? You meet a police officer, you meet a security guard, and and you thought that you're on the same page, you're on the same team, and he asked you to leave your gun in the car before you walk in, and you say, "Excuse me," and then he pulls his gun out on you, you could have been shot by a white police officer, white security guard, for not obeying his command. So this message of evaluating the movie, The Hate You Give, the hate you give can also come from white individuals that just come to me. This security guard had an issue. He was arrested. He pleaded not guilty. I don't know the outcome of the trial. Will it be a trial? Will he plead? But that's to show you the hate you give come from both ways. The hate you give come from blacks on blacks. The hate you give come from blacks toward whites. The hate you give is from whites toward whites or whites toward blacks. So it's a circle, 360 degrees circle, where everybody is expressing their hate. The hate you give come from you, not from me. The hate you give is you exercising and spewing that hate. You may feel that you have a reason, but how are you expressing your hate? Are you forgiving? Are you seeking answers? Or do you want to know the truth? So when I saw that article, I said, wow, it was meant for me to do a movie review, The Hate You Give. And this particular white security guard expressed the hate he gave toward the police officer who was black in uniform, demanding that he take his weapon out to the car and then come back in. Can you imagine that? What if the officer had done that and something happened in the building? That he needed his weapon. He could not defend himself. Was the security guard saying that I'm the police now and you are subject to me? Will the security guard help or defend him if a shooting took place? Or will he stand? How can the officer defend himself if he needs a weapon? So be mindful, brothers and sisters, that the hate you give can also come from another race expressing themselves on you. Be mindful, as in the movie, the father was talking to his children, telling them how to behave, telling them what they must do, how to, when they are confronted with individuals. He gave them the first part of the movie. He was telling them what happens. Now when it happens, don't get mad. You got to look calm, answer their question. Who's there? Police officer. But don't give out no information. Don't tell them anything extra. Keep your hands out your pocket. There's a reason for my safety and your safety. If you drop something, just leave it where it's at. This is the father in the movie. Leave that stuff where it's at. Now, one day you're going to be with me, the father said, and you will be with me. And at best, I might get pulled over. That don't mean I did anything. That don't mean I made a mistake. Maybe I ain't done nothing at all. You're going to see me take my hands and put it down on the dashboard. Do the same thing. Don't make no mistake. Keep your hands posted, because making moves can make the police officer get nervous. If you ain't with me, you ask me. It can be very dangerous. So don't argue with them. Keep your hands where they can see them. This is how you're going to act. And then the movie goes on. This is the first scene. And he says, don't ever forget, being black is an honor because you come from greatness. We must begin to understand that we have come from greatness. We may not have heard it in the public school system. We may not really know the black history. But if you do not know, educate yourself about black history. Get an understanding about black history. We have come from greatness. We all are here for a purpose. We all are not out there gangbanging and thugging and doing things that we are not to be doing. And like I mentioned, there's a reason behind the madness, if you want to call it. And I get into it as I go into the movie. So don't ever forget that you are somebody. Like I said in the movie review of the Black Panther. If you have not listened to it, really listen to my movie review on that movie, and you'll see the movie was sending out a message. Those who listen, so we all come from greatness. And then he said the Bill of Rights. Know your rights. Know your rights and know your worth. You understand. You have rights. Educate yourself. Go to the internet. Google it. What you supposed to do. There's a reason behind the things an officer do when he asks you. Don't argue with them. Don't give them any information. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Go a long way. Don't respond in a manner because you heard something on the TV show, heard something on the news, you heard something that your friend or stranger may have uh, been assaulted by the police. Don't apply that to your life. If it had not happened to you, don't get angry and express. But then someone can say, you can say that. No, I can say when many times I was not in uniform and people did not know who I was, I can walk in any given store and I can tell if someone is following me, someone is watching me. I get treated the same way you have gotten treated when you go into the public sector. I get treated the same way. So I'm not exempted from experience the hate you give the hate you give that comes from a police officer. So he said, know your rights and loyalty. And one thing I like about the movie that we don't see, she said she was born from immaculate conception and transformed like this. Then she goes on and then mama and daddy had me. Her mother and father were lived in the home. They were together. They was raising their kids to do better, raising their kids to do better in the neighborhood. They wanted to move out of the neighborhood. So right now, there's not a lot of black families have married families or either single families where the husband is in the house, the father in the house, so the child is out there on their own. So the streets has become the father of the child. The father are the streets to teach the children the wrong things. So it was very good that they had a father and mother present in the movie, and they knew each other when they were 17. But the mama threw him out of the house because he was living just like a pusher. He was in a gang. He was in a gang. He decided to get away from that because he didn't want that lifestyle. Yes, we must realize, individuals must recognize that they're not going in places. They either be killed or go to jail. So that was very good that it portrayed the husband and father in the house. I'm sorry, mother and father in the household trying to teach, making means, doing the best that they can. He had a store, a black owned store that was good in the black home community. He was teaching his children how to behave, to be respected. And he said, and everybody else wrong, and law, making sure that you don't make the same mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. Don't make the mistakes other people have made. Then the movie continued where she said OPT is a one true parent. One true parent between her mother and father. They had a true parent together. They recognized she forgave her husband because I think in the movie it shares, I may be going ahead of myself, that he was involved with another woman and she forgave him for it and they still stuck together. So just because somebody makes a mistake in their life, we can't forgive them. We can forgive them and move forward and recognize that we have a purpose and we have a purpose wherever we are. The community does not define you. It's the thought that you think about the community. You can empty the whole community out. The houses, the cars, and the property will still be there. So what defines the community? The thoughts that are in the community. If you're living in a predominantly black neighborhood and you see drug selling is all around, that is the thought in that community. To order to change that community to be a better place to live, you must change the thinking of the individual in the community. Some may change their behavior, change the way you think, produce an outcome where you will change the community. Not only change the community, but change your own thought, change what's in you. When we change how we think about each other, when we change how we think about other people, then we have set a path to a new direction, a new way of living, a new way of thinking. So I want you to take that in consideration that the hate you give can come from whites to blacks, whites to whites, or blacks to white, or blacks on blacks. No one is exempted from the hate they give. Think about that. Think about it. Think about it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to still hold on to your hatred? Where's that going to get you? If you're going to justify this or that, where it going to get you? Where it going to take you? 6 feet under, a life behind bars, never to get out. Die old in jail, only to be buried. Not having your family members and friends visiting you. Some may visit, and some may not. Some may not send you money. So you're in the jail, living a life because in the past you may have told someone you're representing. The hate you give can come, the hate you give can cause a big change in your life. So please think about what you've heard. If you like what you have heard, then share with other individuals, share with other people, allow them to hear what you heard. Come to this channel again. Come to this channel to hear another message on the hate you give. I'll be, God willing, another particular part 3 next Wednesday at 8:30. So thank you for joining me. Thank you.